Hello everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2020 Chevy 3500 LTZ, and this one has the Duramax diesel. Chevy is actually doing some pretty awesome stuff with their new heavy-duty trucks, but as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the truck, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives, and then as always, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Chevy here in Murray, Utah for providing us with the truck. If you are on the market for a new Chevy, check these guys out. Under the hood here, it would seem that things haven't changed all that much because you still have the 6.6 liter turbo diesel Duramax, and then you now actually have an optional 6.6 liter V8 gas motor you can get with these trucks. The Duramax still has the same power output, so 445 horsepower and then 910 pound-feet of torque. The difference is the Duramax now has some extra cooling and is now paired to a 10-speed Allison automatic transmission, and then that new V8 6.6 liter gas motor is paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Wrapping things up on the front, I actually love the design of this new generation Chevy on these heavy duties, so you still get that cool little hood vent, and then this one you can see is finished in a bright silver. It looks absolutely fantastic, sparkles in the sunlight, and then since this is the LTZ, you get all of the LED light clusters in here. You got the little parking sensors just down below, some tow hooks on the bottom of the bumper, and then this is a Z71 package, so you got little Z71 badging. But I think this new design that Chevy's gone for definitely looks a lot better on the heavy duties than it does on the half tons. Now the tire and rim setup here is pretty standard for a heavy duty truck, so we've got these 18-inch rims, 275mm tires in the front and in the rear, and then you're going to note something, the new steps. So Chevy has now added a step onto the side here, so even if you don't have wheel-to-wheel side steps, you can still use that step to step up to the bed. And then actually while we're at the side too, you can see this is where we're going to fill up the DEF and then the diesel as well. Now this is normally where I go over the key fob, but the key fob's in this envelope and I can't open up this envelope. So yeah, I mean, it does come with remote start, and I'd love to look at the new key fob. It's somewhere right there. You can kind of see the edge of it, but yeah, I can't open up this envelope. With that being said though, let's go over the features in the rear. Coming to the rear of the truck, we can actually unlock the tailgate via that button, and then it'll do the slow lowering function on it. You can get a spray-in bed liner. This one just didn't have that option out from the factory. You can see there's a little plug here in the bed, which is a nice accessory to have. And then you can look at the cargo lights up there. Looks like those are LEDs with a little cargo camera. But the bed space on this is pretty good. This is the standard size bed, so this isn't the long bed, this is the shorter bed, but I mean, it still has a ton of space. And then if we actually pick up the tailgate, this new tailgate is extremely light, so it is super easy to pick this tailgate up and lock it into place. Wrapping things up, you've got the new signature LED taillights that come with all of the new generation Chevy Silverado, LTZ on the back, and then you can see you've got your camera stuff back here as well, and then you've got all of your plugins for towing with the little receiver hitch, or actually I should say not so little receiver hitch, that thing's kind of big. And then you still do get the steps on both sides with parking sensors in the rear, and then you can see the exhaust tip just down below, which is always massive on these Chevys. You can see we've got that little keyless entry system, so you press the button to lock it and then you press it again to unlock it. And now we can look at the door panel here in the rear. So we've got this nice leather padding on the door, and then you do get this actually really nice wood trim with a little window control right there, and then there's some more stitching up above. Now here's the seats in this new 3500. So we can see the headrests, those are all adjustable, and then you still get these extra little storage spaces in the seats. Still get a little cup holder there in the center, so they've kind of carried over all the stuff from the half tons to this new heavy duty. Tons of storage space back here. And then we can see we do get heated seats with some vents back here, all of the power outlets, and then this one actually comes with rubber floor mats too, which is really neat. Now up front we have that same keyless entry, so one touch to lock it, and then you touch it again to unlock it. And then here are the new mirrors for the 3500. I actually like the design of these. These are the turn signal indicators. Those look really cool as well, just design-wise, but still very functional. So you can see the trailer behind you with the mirror because it gives you a ton of visibility. But let's actually pop inside, and we can see the door panel here for the front. So more of that leather with the wood trim. All of your window controls right here. And then you have all of your mirror controls memory seats up here, and then your door lock and unlock. And then note, it does come with the Bose sound system. We can see the front seat right here, so more of that leather stitching, and then we've got the perforations up front because these do have the AC function. You've got all of your lumbar and then your regular power adjustments, more rubber floor mats. You can see the pedal there with the hood latch release, electronic parking brake, and then all of your light controls with the fog lights. You can see you've got your cargo light right there, and you have another fog light control right there, and then these are your shifters for the drive modes. So you can see you've got your auto, 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, and then you have your 4-wheel low, and then you have your trailer tow mode right there. And then you can note that the steering wheel is manually adjustable on this particular one. Let's start up the 3500. So we just put our foot on the brake, push that push start button, and that Duramax will fire right up, and then you can see the sweep that the gauges do. We can see all of the controls on the steering wheel. You're gonna notice this is gonna look pretty much identical to the new Chevy 1500s. So you can see that you've got all of your controls for the radio, and then you have controls for that little center screen right here, and then your voice command phone controls. Still get little rocker panels on the back of the steering wheel to change the stations and the volume. And then that's for your safety tech, so the collision warning, heated steering wheel, and then that is for your cruise control. And then the overall design of the steering wheel, still have the Chevy in the center, leather all around. It's actually really nice, and it actually feels pretty nice in your hands. And then you can see the regular stalks, and then you can see the gear selector right here, and you can manually shift the gears if you want. Here's the gauge cluster setup for the new 2020 Chevy 3500, and you can see you've got your RPMs over on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you've got your speedo, and then you've got this little configurable menu. So here's all the different menus that you can scroll through on this little center screen, just so you guys can see that. And then note, you can't like go back the other way, you have to just scroll back that way, but it gives you a bunch of different little screens that you can scroll through. Pretty configurable overall. Now here is the center touchscreen, and I've done a bunch of different videos with this touchscreen that Chevy has. It's really easy to use, very responsive as well. It's a really solid touchscreen unit in general. One of the better ones in the car industry, but it gives you stuff like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can use functions like navigation on it as well, and then you can even go to the camera system, which the camera system on this is phenomenal. So here's the camera system on the new 3500. So you can see you've got like a little bird's eye view camera, and then you've got your backup camera, and then you can even zoom in on different parts of the camera, and it gives you even like a little 3D thing on the truck. And like I said, you can zoom on different parts, which is really neat. But I mean, it gives you pretty much a view of every single part of the truck. And here is the standard view that, if I can pop it in reverse, there we go. Here's a standard view that pops up when you do pop it in reverse. It just gives you that backup camera with the trajectory lines, and then the bird's eye view, and then you have the option to go through the different menus on different views, and then there's your cargo camera as well. So we have all of our analog radio controls up here, and all the analog controls for the touchscreen, and then we have dual zone climate over here, and then you have your heated ventilated seats for both the driver and passenger. And then you're gonna know this is gonna look similar to the 1500 with these little new switches, but hill descent control. That's for the power outlet and the bed stability control, your regular hazard lights. That's the tailgate to drop that down, and then you've got your parking sensors, and then your lane departure assist, and then diesel exhaust brake. Tons of little charging stations down in this area with another little power outlet, and then you have your trailer brakes that are already integrated right here. And then you do get wireless charging in this new Chevy 3500. Here are my cup holders filled with the little packet keys. And then you can see you've got more storage up here. Cup holders in the back right there. So you can put your phone here if you wanted to. And then you can see the center console is massive, has tons and tons of storage space within it. And then while we're on storage, let's go over to the glove boxes so you can pop up both glove boxes. You can see storage space is ample in both of these as well, and then there's some stitching all around the glove boxes. Top here we have all of our lighting controls, and then you do have your control for the power rear setting window. So you press that button, that'll do the power rear setting window. You can get a little sunroof right here, so this kind of, you can see it's already cut out for it, but yeah, if you wanted to get an optional sunroof, you can. And then you can see they still have the same little microphone for the Bluetooth up top. I'm actually really impressed with this 2020 Chevy 3500 so far, but the most important thing is I want to drive this to see how that new 10-speed automatic performs. So let's take out the new Chevy 3500 to see how it drives. So we are setting off here in the 2020 Chevy 3500 LTZ, and hopefully this camera angle looks a little bit better than what it was last week. Still trying to tweak some things with this new point of view driving. So you can see here we are initially setting off in the 2020 3500, and I'm noticing that this is actually shifting gears all the time, which I'm not used to that on a truck with a diesel motor, because most of them use 6-speed automatics, and obviously this one has that new 10-speed. Now you guys can see a couple features there illuminating on the windshield, so it does have a heads-up display. Chevy has had that for a really long time. They integrate it into most of the higher up packages in their lineup. Now let's talk about visibility. So you guys can see visibility over the hood is pretty decent. The little kind of divots and everything, the raised part that they have for that big 6.6 liter Duramax and all of that kind of impedes a little bit, but it's not bad by any means. And then you guys can see through the mirrors on both sides, you have really good visibility through those trailer mirrors. They show everything around you. Turning here, you can see that steering is super light and effortless, and this is actually pretty direct for a truck. It goes right where you want it to go. And let's finish on that visibility topic. So you can see over the shoulder on both, visibility is pretty solid on that side of things. You're above everything in this truck, so it's pretty easy to see everything. Now we're using my little manhole test over here, and suspension on this new truck is exceptionally smooth, actually. They've done a really good job, and for a 3500, this is definitely the smoothest 3500 that I have ever driven. I will just say that hands down, Chevy has done a great job with the suspension here. We are going to get a little acceleration here now. You can see that the new 3500 gears down very, very quickly, and 445 horsepower, 910 pound-feet of torque, more than adequate from that 6.6 liter. I would say that in terms of acceleration, this now with this new 10-speed might be a little bit quicker than the Ford. Might be. I'm not saying it is, but it feels like it might be. Now to wrap things up on this new Chevy 3500 with my overall impressions, this is actually a really solid offering. I know that there's been some kind of hard press lately on Chevy with their new half tons. They've fixed some of those things with the heavy duties, but the biggest thing is the capability of this truck is astounding, and that new 10-speed, I mean, it just changes things. I am so excited for when we will have 10 speeds in every single heavy duty that you can order. You know, once Ford adopts it, and then Ram, I'm sure, will figure out something with that Aisin transmission. But yeah, I mean, that all being said, if you are in the market for a diesel truck, obviously check out all three American brands, but I would not discredit Chevy at this point. I would check out this new 3500 Silverado because it is a super solid offering, and the price point that they're at is actually pretty comparable to all the other brands. This one I think stickers for around $72,000, which, you know, if you're a Ram Laramie or if you're a Ford Lariat, pretty similar pricing altogether. There we have it, everyone. The all-new 2020 Chevy Silverado 3500 LTZ. Long name, getting me out of breath. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you are stopping in for the first time, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and then again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Chevy here in Murray, Utah for providing us with the truck. If you're in the market for new Chevy, check these guys out. I'll see all of you in that next video.